it is time to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Sujit Thakur sir. It is my pleasure to introduce you, sir, for my participants. Dr. Sujit Thakur sir is Assistant Professor in the Department of Political Science, Dayal Singh College, University of Delhi. He has completed his MA, MPhil, PhD from School of International Studies, JNU, New Delhi. For his PhD work, he has been awarded fellowship by Indian Council of Social Science Research, ICSSR, and Indian Council of Historical Research, ICHR, New Delhi. Dr. Sujit Thakur sir has an experience of more than 50 years of teaching. He has published 2 books and several articles in reputed journals. One is on Indo-Russia relation for Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya, Wardha. He is also member of selection committee for recruiting TGT and TGT teachers for Educational Consultant India Limited, units of the Government of India. He is on the board of examiner in JNU and Delhi University. He is also an expert of Delhi. He is an expert of Telangana Higher Education Board and National Testing Agency. His several online lectures on international relation are also available at CEC UGC website. He has also delivered many lectures on State Council for Educational Research and Training, SERT, Delhi. Such a scholar and eminent professor of international relation are the keynote speaker. It is very honor and proud for us to be invite such an eminent professor at this webinar for his talk upon growing competitiveness of world power in Asia amidst India-China tension. That is, भारत चीन तनाव के बीच एशिया में वैश्विक शक्तियों की बढ़ती प्रतिस्पर्धा. Thank you. Over to Thakur sir.
Great pleasure for me to speak on this topic, and I am very thankful first of all to the principal of this college, the patron, the convener, Basaman, and the co-convener, and all the participants and my senior colleagues like Professor Burma, Aditya, Manoj, and all of them, those who have already joined from Delhi and outside Delhi. Also, I have seen a number of professors from other states. So this is a really very interesting topic, and Professor Srikant already has given a very enlightening lecture of more than 1 hour, and he has covered all the issues that have been related with the India as an emerging power. I myself confining my lecture within the 40 minutes to 45 minutes, and I am just going to speak on the 3 issues. One, why there is a conflict between the India and China, and what are the issues? Is it really an issue or is it a matter of perception? Second, I am going to speak about where India stands at the global level. And third, I am going to speak about, you see, if there will be a war, if there will be a conflict, if there will be a crisis with the 2 emerging power of the world, what are the India's situation and how India is going to prepare. So within this periphery, I will confine my lecture, and as the convener of this seminar has informed me that I have to use the bilingual mode, both English and Hindi. So I will try my best to speak in both the language time and again, but maybe sometime English will be more or Hindi will be more, so participant would have no problem and no inconvenience. See, the question is, what are the theme of this topic? India in a global scenario. And what is my topic? My topic is growing competitiveness of great powers in the Asia. So, number 1 topic is the India in a global scenario. Number 2 is growing competitiveness of the great powers. And number 3 is within India-China tension. So within these three periphery, I am going to discuss. So what I thought about myself, you see, I will start my lecture from local to regional to global. So first I am going to give you the local understanding about why we are discussing about India, China, why we are discussing about the global scenario, why we think about that this is the situation that create a big crisis for all of us. Now see the question. Everyone discussing these days, whenever you open the media channel, whenever you see the paper, everyone is talking about, you see, India has already landed their aircraft in the LAC. India has already forced the China to retreat from the Pangong 14. India has already, China has already threatened India to teach the lesson like 1962. All these issues we have been each and every day are listening. We are listening also, you see, China is expansionist. China has a problem with all their bordering countries. Sometimes we listen that it's out of 14 bordering countries of the China, China has settled the border with the 12 countries, but only didn't set the border with the India and the Bhutan. Bhutan is basically a country that has a very cordial relation with the India. Why it's all happening? What is the problem of the China to the India? So these questions comes in our mind. Then we also think about it. You see, really India is a superpower. Really India has a capacity. Really India has a potential. Or it's just like Alberni in the 11th century said about the Indians and about the Brahminical tradition, that we have a habit to consider ourselves as a superhuman being. And we always try to project ourselves. We can preach the world, we can guide the world, we can be a philosopher of the world, but the world would never ever accept our this kind of you say super confidence that we can preach you how the world can work, how world can function. So these are the general understanding, and we just started making our lecture on all this. Now the question is first local. What are the local issues? Local issues, when we started discussing about, there are three local issues. Aksai. We from beginning to independence of India to till today, we listen that China had occupied our time-tested land, our territory in the Aksai Chin. And Aksai Chin is the very much integral part of the India. Then we also heard that the Gilgit-Baltistan, that is also a part of Ladakh, that is also part of Jammu and Kashmir, that has been occupied by Pakistan. Then we also heard that China is always claiming the land that is a integral part of India, that is called Arunachal Pradesh. Then we also heard that China also asserting in the Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. Why China is doing all these things? What are the problem of the China? If China can settle border with the Pakistan, if China can settle border with the Vietnam, if China can settle border with the Kyrgyzstan, if China can settle border with the Russia, if the China can settle border with the Laos, if the China can settle border with the Cambodia, if the China can settle the border with the Mongolia, that is one of the largest border between the, China and Mongolia, and the conflict was so that despite this small country Mongolia, they didn't have even diplomatic relation. Then what is the problem of the China? Why China is not trying to settle the border problem with the India? That is the bigger question. We all want to listen. We all want to know what is the real point where these issues have been emerged. Every day we have heard hot spring, Pangong, finger 4 to finger 8, and this China has been asserting its Galvan Valley, Saksham Valley, Raksham Valley, and now we remember all these names. But what is the problem? Why China trying to incur in the Indian land? Is it so? Or is it just a matter of perceptions? You see, it's not a demarcated boundary, and India and China claiming that this is their part and this is their part. Now, if as a neutrally we try to understand, see, we must remember the four names. Number one name is William Johnson, who demarcated the Johnson line that demarcated the boundary between the India and China in the Aksai Chin area. Second, the Charles Macartney. The Charles the Macartney was the British minister in the Kasagar region that is now known as Xinjiang. And another one was Charles the MacDonald, that is known as the McMahon line or Charles the MacDonald. And the fourth name is Adagar, the military intelligence officer of the British. See, the first time between the India and China, before I am going to tell about what happened to the story, I am just trying to tell you, you see, from 1947 to till today, India-China boundary has been not demarcated by any authority. Neither India nor China considered that this is real boundary between the two countries. So this is the big problem, first one. Now if this is the big problem, कि भारत और चीन के बीच सीमा का निर्धारण ही नहीं हुआ है, then why we considering to see China is incurring or India is claiming that this is their land or China is claiming this is their land? It's the one perception emerged. Second, if the boundary line has been demarcated at the British India time, then why not China is accepting? यदि ब्रिटिश इंडिया के टाइम में बाउंड्री लाइन को डिमार्केट कर दिया गया, तो फिर चाइना क्यों नहीं एक्सेप्ट करता है? And third, if Jammu Kashmir is the integral part of the India, then why not China is considering that the Aksai Chin is also the part of India? यदि जम्मू कश्मीर भारत का भाग है, तो फिर अक्साई चीन कैसे हो जाएगा चीन का भाग? Here the British role come to our understanding and interpretation. See, the William Johnson, the British civil servants who first time demarcated the Aksai Chin boundary between the India and China, the British India and the China. What he said that Aksai Chin is the part of the India. Then in 1897, this British intelligence officer, General Ardgar alignment also we know. He also said, you see, the Aksai Chin is also the part of India. But this MacDonald and Macartney, the Charles the Macartney, he is the Kasagar British minister. Kasagar, that is the Xinjiang. This is the one of the city of the Xinjiang. And that time there was Manchu dynasty. He said, you know, the Aksai Chin is the part of China. And what happened when they accepted in the 1899 and they sent to the proposal to the Manchu dynasty didn't respond. Then after that, British administration considered that Aksai Chin is the part of the Indian territory. And also in the number of Chinese map and other places, the Chinese also accepted that this is the Indian part. So this is the story of the historical facts. Now we come to the present one, from independence to today. आपने समझ गया कि भाई हिस्टोरिकल फैक्ट क्या है? हिस्टोरिकल फैक्ट ये है कि 1865 में विलियम जॉनसन जो है, जो ब्रिटिश सिविल सर्वेंट था, उसने पहली बार अक्साई चीन, भारत और चीन के बीच बाउंड्री का सीमांकन किया, जिस सीमांकन का आधार ये हुआ कि भारत का अक्साई चीन भाग है। अक्साई चीन जो है उसका एरिया जो है जितना स्विट्जरलैंड का एरिया है उतना ही एरिया है। ये 32,000 से 33,000 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर के बीच के आसपास का ये एरिया है। ये एक बैरन लैंड है, 15,000 फीट के ऊपर में खड़ा है, लेकिन ये स्ट्रेटेजिकली बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। अब 1897 में आपको ब्रिटिश इंटेलिजेंस ऑफिसर अडगार वहां पर फिर डिमार्केशन करते हैं बाउंड्री को, वो भी कहते हैं कि इंडिया का भाग है। 1899 में आपको क्या होता है कि चार्ल्स मैकेटनी जो कि वहां का कैसागार का ब्रिटिश मिनिस्टर था, एंड द चार्ल्स द मैकडोनाल्ड जिसने मैकमोहन लाइन को में भी काफी बड़ी भूमिका निर्वाह की थी, इसने 1899 में कहा कि चीन का भाग है। लेकिन मंचू डायनेस्टी खुद ही परेशान थी, वहां कुमतांग की सिस्टम रिवोल्ट चल रहा था, तो स्वभाव था कि उन्होंने रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं किया। उसके बाद से ब्रिटिश भारत ने यह मान लिया कि अक्साई चीन जो है ये भारत का भाग है, और तब से हम ये मानते चले आ रहे हैं कि अक्साई चीन इज द वेरी मच इंटीग्रल पार्ट ऑफ द इंडिया। अब देखिए ये यही स्थिति रही, देन द टाइम हैज बीन पास। आफ्टर 1947 स्वतंत्रता के बाद क्या हुआ? We never ever demarcated the boundary line. India was consistent. India is telling, you see, the boundary that has been demarcated between the India and China during the British era, that is the actual line of control, that is the border line between the India and China. China saying, no, we are not ready to accept it because we never ever accepted. We never ever accepted. Neither in the past, nor in the present, nor we are going to accept in the future. चाइना कहता है कि ना तो हमने भूत में इसको स्वीकार किया था, ना तो वर्तमान में कर रहे हैं, और ना भविष्य में करेंगे। अब सवाल होता है कि फिर तो आप क्या किस चीज को स्वीकार करोगे? तो नाउ हियर वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि व्हाट इज द चाइनीज थिंकिंग। चाइना क्या सोचता है? व्हाट द चाइनीज थिंक? चाइनीज थिंग्स, यू सी, चाइनीज स्टेट इज जस्ट 100 year old. मीन्स दे से कि चाइनीज नेशन स्टेट इज जस्ट 100 year old. कहता है कि चीन जो है एक राष्ट्र राज्य के रूप में केवल 100 वर्ष पुराना है। बट चाइना एज ए सिविलाइजेशन, चाइना एज ए नेशन इज मोर देन 2 millennium, मीन्स 1 millennium is equal to 2000 years पुराना है। दैट इज दे कंसीडर इज फ्रॉम द हान डायनेस्टी। वो कहता है कि भाई हान डायनेस्टी जो है वहां से चीन की है, और चीन का जो भी लैंड था जिसको मिडिल किंगडम के रूप में हम देखते हैं, उसको वो कहता है कि हमारा भाग है और हम उसी चीज को मानते हैं। देन चाइना आल्सो नॉट फॉलोइंग द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ द वेस्ट इंडियन मॉडल ऑफ सिस्टम। हम वेस्ट इंडियन मॉडल ऑफ सिस्टम क्या करते हैं? जिसमें सॉवरेनिटी को प्रायोरिटी बनाया जाता है, प्राइम इंपॉर्टेंस दिया जाता है, टेरिटोरियल इंटीग्रिटी को प्रायोरिटी बनाया जाता है। तो वहां कहते हैं कि सॉवरेनिटी, लेकिन सॉवरेनिटी में जैसे हमारे यहाँ पॉपुलर सॉवरेनिटी, जनता क्या सोचती है, उनके यहाँ पॉपुलर सॉवरेनिटी की बात नहीं होती है। उनके यहाँ कहता है कि स्टेट लीडर, जो इंपेरर है, जो नेता है, जो लीडर है, वो जो है राज्य को पॉपुलर मैंडेट से नहीं चलाएगा, बल्कि इससे चलाएगा कि क्या राज्य के बेनिफिट में है। वो ऐसा क्यों सोचते हैं? क्योंकि देयर कन्फ्यूशियस आइडियोलॉजी इज, यू सी, स्टेट इज फैमिली रिट लार्ज। मतलब वो मानते हैं कि राज्य जो है वो परिवार का ही बृहद रूप है, और जो नेता होता है, जो मुखिया होता है, जो राष्ट्र अध्यक्ष होता है, वह परिवार का मुखिया होता है। इसलिए he has to think about whole nation rather than think about what the majority thinks. But in India, it's just the opposite. We consider, you see, state is for the welfare of all. State is for the well-being of all. Means, and third, the state should अंडर द पॉपुलर सॉवरेनिटी। जो लीडर होगा, जो नेता होगा, जो उसको जनता की बात माननी पड़ेगी और जनता के कल्याण के लिए ही उसको कार्य करना पड़ेगा। तो ये बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग है। हमारी जो है, हम वेस्टर्न नोशन से अपने आप को आगे बढ़ाते हैं, और चीन जो है वो कहता है कि नो, आवर अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट फ्रॉम व्हाट द वेस्टर्न अंडरस्टैंडिंग। अब जहां ये बात आ जाती है कि अब आप डिमार्केशन ऑफ बाउंड्री को कैसे मानेंगे? अब वो कहता है कि नो, वी आर नॉट रेडी टू एक्सेप्ट इट। क्यों नहीं एक्सेप्ट करता हूं? क्योंकि वी कंसीडर, द चाइनीज कहता है कि वी कंसीडर द 1842 टू 1949, 1842 से लेकर 1949 तक का जो समय है, दैट इज द एरा ऑफ ह्यूमिलेशन, द सेंचुरी ऑफ ह्यूमिलेशन फॉर द चाइना। वो कहता है कि वो हमारे लिए ह्यूमिलेशन का एरा था, हमारे लिए शोषण का एरा था, और हमारे जितने भी दुनिया के महत्वपूर्ण शक्तियां थी, उसने चीन को अपनी अपनी ताकत के आधार पर जबरदस्ती बाउंड्री से लेकर, चीन के आंतरिक से लेकर बाह्य सत्ता तक में दखलंदाजी किया। सो देयरफॉर वी आर नॉट रेडी टू एक्सेप्ट एनी डिसीजन दैट हैड बीन इम्पोज्ड ऑन चाइना ड्यूरिंग दीज years, because we consider this is the era of humiliation. अब जो तो कहता कि देन कहता कि 1848 1842 टू 1949, यदि वो कहता है कि इट वाज द एरा ऑफ ह्यूमिलेशन, तो फिर वो मानता कैसे नेशंस रीबर्थ? देन ही स्टार्टेड कंसीडरिंग कि सी, nation's rebirth, when China emerged as another time, means after 1950. China emerged as a nation and took another birth. It was the rebirth of the China. So the Chinese communists considered it was the rebirth. So we are not going to accept all the decision that was taken during the previous birth and during the birth when I was the enslaved. मतलब उनका ये कहना है कि जब मैं गुलाम था, जिस समय 100 साल तक आप लोगों ने जो गुलाम बना के हमें रखा, उस दौरान यदि आपने हम पर किसी तरह की बातों को रखी तो उस बात को हम नहीं स्वीकार करने जा रहे हैं। हम उसी बात को स्वीकार करेंगे जो हमारा रिबर्थ होता है, मतलब 1950 के बाद जो पीएलए पीपुल्स कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी या पीपुल्स रिपब्लिक चाइना का जो रिबर्थ होता है और जो रिसर्जेंस, वो रिसर्जेंस मानते हैं कि 1978 के बाद उनका रिसर्जेंस होता है, इकोनॉमिक रिसर्जेंस जो होता है, और डेंग जियाओपोंग के बाद जो वो एक आप देखते हैं कि चाइना असर्टिंग इटसेल्फ एज ए ग्रेट पावर, तो कहता है कि हम वहीं से अपने आप को मानेंगे और उसी बात को हम मानेंगे कि हमारा किस देश के साथ किस प्रकार का